We're at the low point of St. Peter's Street, where the October flooding did all its damage. And you're seeing the area that's been destroyed by the water. These are the houses and the places that have been abandoned now are no longer usable because of the flood zone. They are all over the place, as you can see. These are all the houses. 2 houses were removed from here right away. These are all the houses right there. That one there. This one here. This one here. The yellow one over there, which was at the lowest point of the water, right here. This place here, they were doing something building, but that house has been completely removed. All the foundations. All this flood zone area. Right around here, that place. These places, they're wide open now. People can just go in and do what they want, I guess. But they're abandoned, obviously. The doors are wide open. Or the police are watching that, I'm not sure. But this is this flood zone right here that's been abandoned, no longer livable here. These buildings, this apartment building, I used to have a friend that lived here before. This used to be the Brandlin house. All the windows are busted out, vandals. This is the area that's been completely lost to the flooding. This is the flood path down here. You need to cut a better water off system for this town. This is it here. And you can see why we would have flooding, considering how it's set up here. It's not very much space for water to come through when it's flooding. As you can see all by the lines around the sides, that it's just going to keep on pushing up. These rocks here didn't make much difference. What they need to do is dig out a better system below, deeper, put some walls up on each side before the water ends up there on that man's house up there. Because that's where it's going to end up going. The system is not designed properly. It's too many curves, twisting in and around and all over the place. That's not how a water off system is supposed to be designed. It should be straight with walls high enough to keep the water out of the city. But as you can see, that's not what's going on here. The places have been burned. As you can see, these places are finished. But what's next? Where does it go from here? Where it goes from here is up higher towards the other properties that way when the water gets too high here. Like this hasn't even been cleaned up. Look at the mess here. They're leaving the natural waterway. It's blocked off right there with something there. It's not even going through. It's going down around over there and spinning all over the place and going up underneath buildings. And instead of making a proper runoff for the extra water coming through the city, they've basically made it run it around in circles around people's places and stuff like that. And now you see the result of that. Inadequacy, improper building, not doing the infrastructure properly. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get damages to the properties that they can't recover. This poor gentleman here with the yellow house. Look at that. Beautiful house like that, all gone. All because of waterway. City won't do what they're supposed to be doing. This is not a waterway passage. Look at this. This is what they're calling a water off. This is what they're using to run the water off. This is not adequate. It's just a ditch. All you got here is a ditch. It's a ditch. It's all it is a ditch. They should design a system that's where they have walls on each side, nice and straight, going all the way through, down through that way. But they've got too much going around and in and out. There's too much obstacles in between. There's no way the water can escape. Now it's nice and low, as you can see now. But that's not going to stay that. When we get a superstorm again, the next nor'easter or something, we're going to be flooded again. We were flooded all the way across through that field over there, into the school over there. It was all full of water, up to the second floor of the school. I saw that myself. Fortunately, I live up the street, a couple of blocks upwards, and the flooding didn't reach my house, my place. But this whole area is messed up now. And I'm going to probably have to do 2 parts to get all this together. Look at the bandana. Remind you? Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda bandana. The bandana that survived the airplane crash in Pennsylvania. Yeah. But anyways, back to what we're talking about. You have these drain-off pipes going down. See it there running down to run it back in. That's coming from somewhere. This is not adequate situation. This is just not done right. This city is not doing what they're supposed to be doing to secure the people. They're basically cutting corners and not doing what they're supposed to be doing. We're going to go over to the other street now and see what we can find. These places are completely destroyed. It's sad. It's a beautiful house. I'm sure the man that owned this is all beside himself at a loss. I'm surprised that some of these things could have been salvaged, though, like a trampoline, all that. Get a little water on them. They don't become garbage just from that. They don't become garbage from trampolines getting wet. But a lot of people just gave up on this situation. It's a beautiful house. Look at this. A nice place like this, destroyed by water. That's unbelievable. This was a nice house at one time. All these properties just destroyed by the flooding. It's terrible because these people have lost their properties and we don't know if their insurance has covered them or not. A lot of them are being left undealt with and still dealing with the problems now. It's pretty sad to see how people go through that stuff every day and can't get no help. We're going to go over to the other street now and see what it looks like as they built the construction for the waterway on the other street. That would be Whitney. So we're going to stand down for a second and see what we got over there. We're at the corner of Whitney Avenue now, and we're looking at the construction where they rebuilt the damages of the overflow that happened here on this corner. They've rebuilt the sidewalk. They've rebuilt this area down here by putting in some stones at the front. But the waterway is still the same. All they did was widen it here and put a guardrail. I'm not sure how that's going to stop the next flood from coming in here. You got chairs down there like they're getting ready to watch a show or something. You see how that waterway goes in a circle down there. It cuts down and goes around. That's the problem. This shit needs to be straight with walls on both sides. Nice and high. Not this crap here where it can just flow up into the houses, which is what's going to happen the next time it happens. This was a waste of money. And that's what you see our city wasting our money, pretending to do a job, and they ain't doing shit. They're not doing anything that's going to be substantial for the next flooding. Look at that waterway. It's so small. It's no bigger than the ditch that we're looking at. They need to dig out a proper waterway system before all these houses get washed away. The underground here is going to get washed out. All these houses are going to fall into holes. I'm not sure what it is that they're doing or why they're doing it this way, but they're fooling the people. The infrastructure needs to be done better than this. Look at that passageway. It's like that's not a water freeway. You need a waterway where the water can go, the extra water comes into the city so we don't end up flooding. This is not going to be good enough. These people here, they're next. The water's going to come up to this place next. So these are the next victims right here to the flooding. Because it's going to be up here next. Because it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Put a big guardrail there. What's the guardrail for? Not sure. This was a flooded zone with water. Is that guardrail going to stop the water from coming? I'm not sure why they did that. It's a waste of money. We'll keep watching. Let's keep looking. This here is seepage coming up from under the ground right here. This is right above the waterway. You can see this puddling of water here. That's coming up. It's not raining. Hasn't been raining. That stuff is seeping up from under the ground. You can see it. You can see the oil in it. It's from the underneath. That's what's happening underneath. It's coming up. And they're not doing anything about it. What's going to happen is this ground is going to collapse. All this ground here underneath here to over there has water moving underneath it, and it's getting weaker and weaker as it pulls the ground out. That's what's going to happen here. I wouldn't be surprised if those houses up there eventually start losing their solidity on their ground. There's some beautiful big houses up on that hill, but that water down here can wear down that hill when it's flowing through here. You see how they put this rock facing here. I'm not sure how that's going to help anything, putting big rocks here. This is a water runoff. That's what that is. We used to build those when we were fixing the houses for my uncle on the side of the ski hills. Build a waterway for the water to go around. But this system here is not adequate to keep the flooding. Got a lot of people who are working on their places, living around this crap here. Because this is bullshit. That's what this is. We need a new system built in here that's straight through with walls on both sides. Or else we're all going to lose our property. You're next. The flood zone's coming to you next. If they don't fix this properly. And that's a fact. I'm not going to wait for my house to get washed away. The city needs to do this correctly. We're spending our money bandaging things. A bandage here and a bandage there. But they're not fixing the problem. Somebody needs to do something about it. Good Things to See is showing you what's going on in your city. They might want to come and shoot me or shut me up, but at least you'll know the truth first. It's worth being shut up for. I'm willing to put myself on the line to show you what's going on. This waterway is not adequate for this little town. We are going to flood. It's going to get worse. You can see it coming out of the ground right here. That's what that is. Seeping up out of the ground. Right there. Okay? So, let's keep looking, see what else we can find. The waterway needs to be built straight through. Even if it's underground, they drop it down low below ground level and make it deep. It would be better because it would hold more water. All of this here, see, just sitting there wasted, money being wasted. They're doctoring, they're bandaging something that's bleeding. You can't put bandages where you need stitches. And that's what they're doing. They're just putting a bandage where it needs stitches. If they don't redesign this waterway system, then we're going to flood further. And the next victims will be those people there and up the street here. And that's what's going to happen if we don't fix this properly. All these guardrails and all that, they sure do look pretty, but they're not stopping any water. And that's a fact. Someone needs to talk to the mayor, and the system has to be fixed properly. We're going to go and show you some more on the other side, how it's all twisted. Now this is the waterway from Park Street. Following that pattern right there where the fences are, under here and down here. As you can see, it's all curving and turning and is not very big. We need to be dug out better than this in order to create a proper waterway so that the people, their homes are safe from all the flooding. This is the waterway here. As you can see, we're walking down the wall. You can see it curves, nothing but curves everywhere. It's kind of short. I mean, that's like a 3-foot wall there. This is the water off. Look at the ground. It needs to be dug out properly at least. So we're standing down now. That's what we've got so far, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.